Greetings, dear soul, and thank you for tuning in to this 6th episode and the final one of The 3 Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth. This is the final 2 chapters in the book, 36 and 37. And before I delve in, I encourage you to watch this video about Dolores' Mayan birthday. And spoiler alert, Dolores has the same Mayan birthday as Dr. Stephen Greer. Now, I want you to think about the cosmic synchronicities between these two and their focus of their lives. And I challenge anyone to compare their birthdays on any other system and see if you can find any connection between them at all, like this. But I already know you can't. Also, please watch this video about all the information that the Maya say connect them to their ancestors in the Pleiades, knowing that Dolores brought forth the same information from countless people's reportings, which actually means the subconscious reporting that the Maya are from the Pleiades. Now let's begin with chapter 36, the new bodies. Here is some of the information about the new Earth that came from various clients taken from the Convoluted Universe book series. The entity speaking through V had a deep, gravelly voice. The whole idea is we have to get people to expand just a little bit. And we have to get this level raised just a little bit. And when we do, we can make that change and make it easier for them. It will be the ones that we can't get to change that are going to be left behind. It's going to be horrible. We can't get them to see. We can't get them to love. Then the others, the ones that will change, will go into another world, another Earth. It's like it's going to expand into another dimension. Let me see how I can explain this to you. It's like a raising, if you can understand, like we're going to raise into a different vibration. They'll be able to see what's going on, but we can't help the others anymore. Is it like a separation, like 2 Earths? Is that what you mean? Oh, no. It's a changing of dimension. We're going to go from here to here, and those that can't change will be left behind. When we go into the other dimension, will it be a physical Earth? It will be just like we are right now. That's what I meant by 2 Earths. Yes, but they're not going to be aware of us. God help them. God help them. It's going to be so terrible for them. They won't know what has happened? No, they will know. That's the whole idea. They will know, but it will be too late for them to change their vibrations. They can't change it in 1 second. They have to change it over a period of time. We've been working on this for a while. It has to seep in and work on your body, and it has to slowly change and raise your vibrations. And when it happens, it is going to be too late for them, but they will see it though. They will die, but they will see it, and they will learn from that. That world will still exist, but it will be different? Not very well, no, not very well. There won't be much left in that world, not much. Many people will die at that time? Yes, but I think much of their death will be painless. I think they will live just long enough to see what's happening, and God will spare them the horrible traumatic pain. I pray that's what will happen. But the others that do shift into the new vibration with an identical physical world? Yes, but some won't even be aware that they've made the change. Some will. Those that have been working towards it will know. Will they know about the people left behind? I don't think so. There will be an awareness of a change that took place. I'm not sure if it's going to be a conscious awareness. Let me think about that. We'll go into this dimension and we'll know. Some won't know. They'll feel something. They'll feel a difference. Almost like a cleanness, a clearness, a crispness, a difference. I know what it is. They'll feel the difference. They'll feel the love. So even if they haven't been working toward it, they will be carried along with it? Yes, but only if they're ready for it. And the others won't be. If they're not, they're not. So they're left in negativity. You said the whole world is going to be changed at that time. Yes, those that can go on, that can move into this new vibration will move, and those that can't, won't. And it will be like two worlds? Yes, two worlds existing at the same time, but not aware of each other. I know when you're in a different dimension, you're not always aware of the other one, but that's the message you want to get across, is that we should spread this information about love while we still can, to bring as many as possible along. Love is the key, because God is love and love is God. Love is the supreme power, and that's what we need to feel in our lives. What we need to give each other and feel for each other is love. Yes, love has always been the key. So they're trying to tell as many people so they can bring them along. That's what the urgency is. The urgency is that we've run out of time. Just be prepared. What? Tell her what? And Dolores writes that V was obviously hearing some other voices. There were mumbling sounds, and then the deep, gravelly voice returned. Tell you to be ready. Ready for the change coming soon. Soon now. Be ready. She's not a good vehicle. She's not done this before. I can't get my ideas through to her to convey to you. I must work on it. Let's clean this vehicle. Yes. There, that's better. What is it that you wanted to tell me? Must help all humanity. Tell them what is to come soon. Changes, dimensional shift. Those that can hear you will hear you. They'll be ready for that dimensional shift. Those that can't will not accept it anyway, so they'll think we're crazy. But the others, they may not know it, but it will touch a spark in them. When it happens, they'll be ready and they can make the shift. They may not know it's coming, but something inside will be ready for it, and they'll be able to make it. It's those that don't know it's coming. But if we tell them, they'll be ready. When it happens, their new vibration will arrive, and they'll be ready. Those of us that do make the shift, will we continue to live our lives the way we have? No. Better, different, longer. Will we continue our physical lives? Oh, physical in that dimension, yes, but physical in this dimension, no. But I mean, if we make the shift, will we, you mean, will you live or die? Will we continue lives as we know them? Yes, some will not even be aware of the shift, those who are living in a high vibration now. You see, that little thing that we plant in their head will help them make the dimensional shift, and they may not even know it. But they'll know there's destruction out there. They'll see destruction. They'll see what's taking place, and they'll see dead bodies, but they won't know that they've made the shift. They won't be aware of the fact that the reason they're not dead is because they made the shift, and it didn't affect them. You said something about the things that are put in the head. Do you mean implants? No, I mean idea seeds, thoughts, concept seeds. They don't know it consciously, but inside, that will help them. It's like a spark that, when the time comes, their mind would have accepted it subconsciously already and becomes a light. I've heard that we will live longer. Longer, better. Learn. Things will be so much better. People will learn more after a short while. They'll know more. They'll become more aware of reality, the way things really are. They may not know when they make the shift, but they'll learn about it. They'll realize after a while what has happened. And the ones that are not ready will be left on the other earth? Yes, they'll be gone. And many on both places won't even realize that something dramatic has happened? The ones on the other place will be dead. But they'll know because that's the lesson they needed to learn. Once they die, they will know. They will see the truth. And they will see what opportunity they missed, but they will learn from that because everyone is eternal. I've also been told that when they reincarnate, if they have negativity, negative karma to repay, they will no longer come to the new earth because the new earth will have changed so much. They will not come back here until they've made the switch, until they've made the change and cleared their karma. I've heard they will go somewhere else to work out their karma because they have missed the opportunity here. Yes, some will, and some may be given an opportunity to come back. But it will be a while, a long while. But in the meantime, we will be going forward and learning new things and making progress in a whole new world. Yes, a beautiful new world. A world of light, love, and peace, where people can live together and love one another. But it will still be a physical world with our families and houses like we have now? Yes, just a smarter, higher vibration world. That I can understand. Then she writes, another subject who was experiencing unexplained physical symptoms described the new body in this way. She is identifying more with her future body. It's not really settled in yet, but it's there. And this future body takes her essence or portions of her and merges it or pulls it up, so she will get used to this future body. Will the body physically change? Some, yes. It will be stronger and younger. The body that she is in now, it will be healed and redone. She needs the future body. It will be lighter, more capable. She is feeling this now. Her essence has been merging with this future body and pulling up. So this body she has now will be changed. It will essentially be left behind. It's going to be transformed, and parts of it that aren't needed will be dropped away. So it's not like leaving one body and going into another. No. Gradually, the newer body and the older body will be mostly merged together, but there will be certain parts of the other body that won't be necessary, so they will be left behind. They will just disintegrate. Dolores writes, it will probably be so gradual that we will not even notice the difference, except for the physical symptoms that some are experiencing as the body makes the adjustments. I have been told that the older generation may be more aware that something is happening in the body, yet it does no good to worry about it, since it is a natural process that is occurring now to everyone as part of the evolution of the new Earth. Here's more from another subject in Australia. It's like a car. Imagine a car that has an old body. It's just the same old car you've been driving, and then you put a new engine in it, and suddenly that car begins to perform differently even though it looks the same. And then you get another engine and you replace it. And the car keeps getting faster and faster and brighter and smarter. And then before you know it, the car is doing such good things that the body of the car starts to change. It's like the energy of the new engine starts to reform the body of the car. And before you know it, the chap has turned into a sports car, a beautiful, glossy, attractive vehicle. And that's what this is about. The energies that are coming in have the ability to transform the physical vehicle, and it will start to be different. It's going to look different. It's going to look, well, younger comes to mind. It's going to look younger and smarter. The cells of the body, the vibration of the body is changing and is matching the vibration of the incoming energy, and the physical changes will follow. What will those physical changes be? Oh, the body is going to change to be lighter, and I'm feeling that it will look taller. It's not that it's going to be taller, but the energy from within is somehow going to become visible on the outside, and that will make the body seem taller, elongated, slimmer, and more transparent. Transparent? Yes, it's a pioneering thing. Is this the way the people on the new Earth are evolving? Yes. Will everyone make the changes? Yes, because the people have all been given that choice. If they want to evolve with the Earth, they will evolve into this new human being. It will look different, and that's what this experiment is about. That's why Christine and the others are moving the ones who don't want to evolve with the earth. They are going to leave and bring a lot of pain to their families. But the people who are staying must hold on to the light. That's a big job, to get divorced and separated from those things that are happening in the dark. And these things are going to continue to happen until the cleansing is complete. Those who are here to stay are taking this race of people into a very new and different civilization. Those people are being tested now to see if they can hold the light frequencies when there is disaster and not be sucked in to fear. They're the people who will move ahead with the planet. Almost like a last test? Yes, a long series of tests is going on right now. Whatever each being needs to test them, to see what they're capable of giving back to this program, how firm their commitment is, how willing they are to serve. That is what is being tested now. So each person is having their own individual tests? Yes, and the people who are finding it tough now are the ones who will stay behind. They're the ones going through the worst tests, and if they stay in fear, they will not pass. So they're not passing the test. Many who stay in fear will not pass. This is what I was told by other people, that some would be left behind. Yes. And I thought that sounded cruel. No, it's not cruel because each soul is given the choice innumerable times. And if they're not moving and evolving, it's because they are choosing not to at this time. And they will reincarnate into another place of their choice, which is perfect for them. And that is perfect, because life is only a game. They'll stay and reincarnate into the old earth. The new earth is so beautiful. You will see colors and animals and flowers you never imagined possible. You'll see fruit that is perfect. It doesn't have to be cooked. It is eaten just as it is. And everything that the being needs to nourish them will be there. The new fruits and vegetables are developing now with the help of the star people. Are these fruits and vegetables we don't have on the earth now? Correct. We don't have them yet. They're mutations in some ways, like the human body. I'm seeing a custard apple as an example of what is happening. We will have a fruit called a custard apple, and it doesn't look like an apple. It has a rough exterior, and it's about the size of 2 oranges put together. And then you open it, and it's like custard inside. So that's a fruit and a food. It's not just a fruit, but another food has been introduced into it that looks like custard. That's an example of one of the future foods. So these foods will be delightful to the senses and nutritious and sustaining for the new body. And I'm being told to say the new being. They'll be nutritious for the being. And things we now have to cook, like you to cook custard, will be incorporated into these fruits. And it has to do with helping the planet and cutting down on the use of electricity and energy. So the fruits are going to provide us with what we need. I've heard that humans have done many things to the food that is not healthy for the body. That's right. The organic foods are coming onto the earth, and those organic farmers are moving with the Earth Evolution Program. That's why they're here, spread out all over the earth. And that's why the consciousness is being raised about organic foods, because people need to know how to grow properly. And the Rudolf Steiner schools are teaching children this. So, the children who are going to be with the new earth will already know this. And those children are now teaching in universities and in other institutions, and they are spreading the word. So when the cleansing of the earth occurs, much of that old toxicity is going to be pushed away. You see, the new earth is not in this dimension. The new earth is in another dimension. You can call it the new 5D earth, but 5D means the fifth density. And we will move into that new density. And in that new dimensional density, there will be these trees that have purple and orange in their trunks. And there will be beautiful rivers and waterfalls. And the energy will be brought back. There will be energy in the streams and the water that goes over the rocks and the sandbanks. And it hits the earth. It creates energy and will be straightened out in this world. Many of these streams have been changed and straightened out to make them navigable and nice. That's taking away the energy from the earth. The earth is going to be cleansed. I'm seeing clean water flowing everywhere. Does this have to occur before the earth shifts and evolves into the new dimension? I'm seeing us stepping through a doorway. Oh, what I'm seeing is that the people who are going to the new dimension will step through into this new world. While the other one is being cleansed? Yes, yes. What do you see about the water that will happen with the cleansing? It's not being shown to me. They don't want you to see it? Right, they won't show me that. What they're showing me is an opening, a doorway that we step through. We step into what looks like this earth, but it's brighter, different colors, different textures. At first it looks the same, but only at first. And then, as we look around, we start to see that it is not. It begins to change before our eyes, and it's so beautiful. But this is not the spirit side, because the spirit side is described as being very beautiful also. No, it's the new earth. It's not the spirit side. It's the fifth dimensional earth. Some people will pass through before others. I'm being told to tell you now that Christine has been there several times. There's a group going to go through now, and she'll be bringing more through, and they'll be coming and going a bit until they all go for good. Then the others will be left on the old earth? Yes, the ones that are choosing to stay will stay. They'll be undergoing a lot of hardships, won't they? Yes, the whole planet. I was told that whenever you cross over, you will be in the same physical body that you have now. You'll just be changed. Yes, you will still be in the same body, but it's going to change. So it can be done without dying or leaving the body. That's a different thing altogether. Yes, we just walk across the threshold. Christine's done it before, and she knows how to do it. She's done it and understands it. But it will be sad because there will be so many people that don't understand what's happening. It's so hard with so many, I want to say, ordinary people who have no idea of anything except the religion they've been taught. They don't know that this other world is possible. Yes, but they're not ordinary. They only seem ordinary. It's a mask they're wearing. They're changing. But there still are many people who haven't even thought about these things. Yes, but they are choosing not to awaken, and that is their choice. And we have to respect that without judgment. They have been given the choice, just like everybody on earth, and they have made that choice. And that is okay. It's all right. It's fine. It's perfect. So if they have to go to another place and work out their negative karma, that's part of their evolution. Yes. But do you see a majority of people evolving to the next dimension? No, not the majority. And the numbers, to some extent, are not important because what will be will be. And the more people that can awaken and take that journey, the more people there'll be. That's why so many of you have been incarnated at this time, and so many of you are awakening, and so many of you are doing this work to help people open up to the journey and release fear. They must embrace and open up to love and step into the void where anything is possible. Step into the void where there seems to be blackness residing. That's what you people are all doing, and you need to do it. And everybody you speak to then goes out and does it as well, or not. You may not be aware of it, but you are all acting like the Christ. Everyone you speak to becomes a disciple, and they go out, and they in turn teach and awaken other people, or not. So it's working, and it's perfect, and it's all happening now. Do you have any idea of a time period for the shift? The next few years and decades will be, I'm getting the word decision point. It will be the cutoff point. I think that means that those who have not decided by then will be left behind. It is the critical mass. But there are some entire countries in the world that are not ready for this. That's why I'm thinking there are many people that won't make the crossover. There's more happening than anyone can understand. There are some countries where people are being persecuted. The reason that's happening is to awaken spirituality, because persecution and suffering causes the awakening of spirituality. When people are persecuted, or when they're facing death, or when they're facing huge human stress, this is a trigger that awakens people. And that's the purpose of much of the persecution that's occurring at the moment, to make sure that as many people as possible are awakened. So that's the positive side of it. Is there something that triggers it or precipitates it? It's like the curtain drops when I look for what precipitates it, and I'm not allowed to see it. I'm just being told that it will be the end of one and the beginning of the other. Our governments are trying to lead us into war at this time. Do you think it has something to do with that? Definitely part of the tests. I said that many people were being tested, and I didn't realize it then, but I do now, that it's all part of the many tests. If we can keep ourselves separated from war and fear, it's like we have to create our own world. It's like each one of us is the universe. All parts of the universe are held in the heart. And if we keep the universe here in the heart chakra, we can live in peace and we can keep balance. Then we pass all the tests. Then we can withstand anything. And those things that are happening in the world are really just a test. That is all. You mean to not get caught up in the fear? Correct. Turn off the TV. Do not listen to the news. Do not read the newspaper. Do not get caught up in any of it. Your world is what you create in your heart chakra. In your own body. Yes, in your own space. This is your own universe, your body. If every person creates peace and harmony in their own universe, in their own body, then that's the universe they're creating, which is the new 5D Earth. The more people who can create peace and harmony and love inside their body universe, the more people who will be in the new 5D Earth. The ones who can't create peace and harmony in their body universe will not pass the test. We're trying to do this to keep war from happening or to lessen its effects anyways. I'm being told that it doesn't matter what happens externally because it's all a game. It's all a play. It's all a movie. And the things that are happening are there for a reason. And the reason is to test each human being to find out where they are in their own vibrational evolution. And so, if we hold peace and love here in the body, we don't have to worry about whether there's a war or not. It's all an illusion anyway. But right now it seems very real, and it could have some very disastrous consequences. Yes, but that is a fear and victimhood vibration. Our job is to help each individual find peace and love here in their body, their universe, their world. And then, of course, as you bring more people together who have peace and love and harmony within their own body universe, then instead of fear and darkness and blackness spreading, love and peace and harmony spreads, and that creates the whole new 5D Earth. If you've been given all that information back in the beginning of your work, you would have been overloaded. It's the same reason why they're saying, we're not going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. But we're not going to tell you what we do know, because you don't need to know. All you need to do is focus here on your heart chakra, creating your heaven on earth. Each human being is creating their own heaven on earth. That's all you have to do. And coming together with others who are creating their own heaven on earth, and then expanding that vibrational energy outwards. And before you know it, you've changed the world. You don't even think about the world. What you focus on is what you create. Think about peace. Think about love. Think about harmony. The main thing people have to understand is that what they think about expands and becomes real. So if they focus on the news and negative predictions, change that to thinking about something wonderful that they want and expand that. Then they will create their own heaven on earth. And I'm now being shown your book, The Convoluted Universe, Book 1. And inside you gave a description of this thought energy. I'm being told to remind you about this. You talk about an energy ball the size of a grapefruit, and that ball has energy strands. And I'm changing this as I go. Energy strands which go over each other and transverse each other. And those energy strands can do anything they like. They can split, and they can become 4 energy strands, and they can weave, they can multiply, they can go backwards, they can zip up, they can do absolutely anything. And this is the ball of energetic possibility. Whenever you think a thought, it doesn't just disappear, it becomes an energy strand. Thoughts are energy. Thoughts move into the ball of possibility. So imagine your thought becoming energy. And the more energy you give any particular thought, the stronger that thought becomes. And then it manifests and it becomes physical, real. If you send a thought out that there's going to be peace, and you follow it with, "Oh, but the war is getting worse," you destroy your peaceful thoughts. So, we have to teach people to send out positive thoughts and then reinforce them with more positive thoughts and then more positive thoughts. And we have to teach them that when one of those negative thoughts comes into the mind, not to just let it go, but to replace it with a positive thought, without scolding oneself or without judging oneself. Observe. Replace negativity with positivity, so that they're adding to the energy ball of positive creation. They're contributing to positive possibility. We have to teach people to do this. They do not know how to do this. And I'm being told to tell you to reinforce that, the illusion. I don't know why I'm being told to tell you this, but they're saying that if we can get people to think of any war that's occurring anywhere as just a movie, it will help people. The other thing I'm being told to tell you is that for every action, they can make an opposite reaction. Where there's birth, there's death. And everybody must let go of any greed, any thoughts of domination or inferiority, and any materialistic chasing of money or property or goods. Any of those issues that are stopping people from doing this spiritual work must be let go, because these issues are not going to serve anybody in the new 5D earth. There is not going to be need for money or property. So why would you bother with it now? Those who are working for the conscious evolution of this earth, which means the evolution of consciousness of the universe, are always provided for and will be continually provided for. What you need will come to you. Have unconditional trust in that. So it is time now to let go of that ethic of working hard to get the money. You are now working in harmony with the evolution of consciousness and Mother Earth. You are working to save this situation. That's where the driving force must be. It must come from love and service. And that's the only way we will maximize this effort. It must come from love and service. I've been told that love is the most powerful emotion. Yes, love heals all. And then Dolores writes a couple of long paragraphs. People at my lectures are always asking me, what do they have to do in order to move to the new earth? The SC have said that there are two important things you have to let go of. One, as just explained, is fear. Fear is an illusion, yet it is the strongest emotion that a human has. It must be released, or it will hold you to the old earth. I tell people to ask lots and lots of questions. Don't believe everything you hear or read. Think for yourself. Don't give your power away to anyone. Make up your own mind and discover your own truth. It may not be my truth or someone else's truth, but it will be yours because you have discovered it. And then don't be surprised if that truth changes. We are constantly learning. Stay flexible. Don't let fear cloud your judgment so that you can't think for yourself. The second thing you must let go of is karma. We accumulate karma through living many, many lifetimes on earth, often with the same people who reincarnate into the same families, and we repeat the same mistakes. That's why it's called the wheel of karma. It just goes round and round and holds you to the pattern. I call karma the baggage and the garbage that we carry around with us like a very heavy backpack, stinking and rotting. You must get rid of the junk so you can ascend. We all have bad things that have happened in our lives, things that have been done to us and things that we have done. That's what life is all about. I have found that we agree to these events and things in order to learn from them. I ask people, when they tell me about their bad experiences, did you learn anything from it? If you learned even one positive thing from a bad experience, then that was the reason you experienced it. If they say they did not learn anything from it, guess what? They will have to experience it all over again until they understand what it was trying to teach them. They will have to repeat that grade or lesson in school. You can't go from kindergarten to college. So, go over your life. What are you holding on to? What haven't you let go of? It no longer matters if you were abused as a child. What matters is, what did you learn from it? It doesn't matter if you had a horrible marriage. Let it go. Some of my clients have said, "I can't let it go. You don't know what they did to me." It's not hurting anyone but yourself by holding on to negativity, and creates more karma by not releasing it. In order to ascend into the new earth, you have to let it go. You can only do this by unconditional forgiveness, or you will have to stay with the old earth and suffer all over again. That's how the law of karma works. Is that what you want? During my lectures, I give people an exercise that they can use to release karma. You can't speak to the person face to face. That's too difficult to do. Besides, sometimes the person you are angry at is dead, or lives in another country, or you have no idea where they are. You have to do this activity mentally. It helps to remember that you are an eternal soul. And when you were on the spirit side, before you came into this body, your soul made a plan of what you hoped to accomplish in this life. You, your soul, made contracts with various other souls to play various roles in your movie of life on earth. Some of your greatest enemies or challenges during your life were your greatest friends on the spirit side. They volunteered to come in and play the villain in your earthly movie. And some of them play their parts very well. So, the activity is this. Picture that one person in your mind standing in front of you. Say to them, "We tried. We really tried. It's not working. I'm tearing up the contract." And see yourself tearing up the contract and throwing it away. And then say to them, "I forgive you. I release you. I let you go. You go your way with love, and I'll go mine. We don't have to be connected anymore." And picture in your mind them turning and walking away. See it happening. The key here is that you have to really mean it. You have to really believe it. Once you have done that, they will have no power over you anymore. And then you must forgive yourself unconditionally. Remember, it always takes two people to create any situation. None of this is easy, but it is essential and imperative if you want to get off the wheel of karma and ascend into the new 5D earth. It's up to you. This next part is the section from a longer session in 2002 where the subject had a connection with extraterrestrials. They were supplying information about many things, including what they could do, or are allowed to do, to correct the damage that humankind has done to the earth. The person says, "They're moving me forward into the future. They're moving my body. Oh my God, I'm getting dizzy." "What are they showing you now?" "All I see is light. It's just a brilliant explosion of light. The planet is being bombarded with a special light that contains all colors, and these different colors affect the consciousness of people in different ways. And it not only affects people, it affects plants and animals and rocks and water and everything. It's a certain type of white light, and it has all types of colors in it. And it changes and moves, and it permeates the very core of the planet. I see it coming from the core of the planet. They shoot it down from spaceships, and it touches all the way to the core of the planet and then bounces out from the core and affects everything from an inward to an outward movement. If you were standing on the planet, you would feel this energy coming through your feet and coming out through the top of your head. The opposite of what it usually does. Yes, this is different. It's coming from the ships to the core of the planet and then bouncing back up. And it's affecting the whole planet. They don't want us to blow ourselves up. Is this something that's happening now, or is it happening in the future? This is the future. They're going to do it to correct the alignment in the planet, to keep everything bad from happening. Will they have gotten the planet more out of alignment by that time? Yes, yes. Oh, there are people on the planet, and they're praying, but it's not enough because everything is so messed up. Things are going out of balance, and that will affect the rest of the cosmos. So, by the ETs directing these energies to the core of the planet, it's going to come back up, and that will correct the alignment. And when it corrects the alignment, it will also correct many other things on the planet. It will help the flooding and the drought and things like that humans have brought upon the planet. There is not going to be an annihilation of humanity. The Council makes sure that won't happen. The beings are down here on the planet watching, and they know what's going on, and they know who's doing it, and they can affect them. It's not that we can't intervene. We're not allowed to intervene. Because there's some things you can't do? That's right, but we can watch, and we know who's doing it. But whenever a planet gets to the point that man has damaged it so much, is that when you can help? That's when we are going to send these multicolored lights. It's like multicolored beams of energy, and they're being shot down into the core of the planet, and then they bounce back out, and it affects the whole planet and will keep the planet in alignment. Is this being done by many spaceships? It's a confederation. I see many. I see different levels or classifications of beings and spaceships affecting the planet. We're involved in that. There are many, many beings. So it's a massive job. It's a confederation, yes. But isn't it dangerous to shoot things at the core of the planet? Hasn't something gone wrong before when that happened? And Dolores writes, I was thinking of the destruction of Atlantis. This was partially caused by scientists focusing the energy from the giant crystals downward to the center of the Earth. Too much energy was created and contributed to the earthquakes and gigantic tidal waves. This is not what you are thinking of. This is pure light energy, and the only effect it will have on the planet is positive. It will not harm the planet. I was thinking of what they did in Atlantis. This is not the same thing. This is done on a soul level. It is pure divine energy. It's nothing like what happened in Atlantis. The energy in Atlantis was done through atomic power. This is energy that the divine has created. and is done through light and love. It is not done through the separation of molecular structures. This is something we have created, and we sent it from the source. Anything that's from the source is good and light and love and will not harm anything. Isn't this interference? No. We cannot interfere with the people here. We can't come down and bully them and tell them what they're doing wrong. But we can bring our ships and we can point this energy at the core of the earth. We can do things like this. This is actually on a soul level. So therefore, we are not interfering with the karmic structure of the people here. Everyone here has a karmic purpose, and we are not interfering with that. We're not allowed to. We don't do that. Do the people on earth see this when it's happening? They feel it. In other words, they'll go through a transformation, and they won't realize what's happened to them. Some of them will realize. Those who are sensitive will know that something has happened, but many on the planet will just go on in their normal lives, and they will be lifted up, and they will be changed, and the earth will be changed. The rocks, and the water, and the crystals, and the soil. But they'll just go on existing, because we are not affecting the karmic pattern. We can't do that. We're doing this on a soul level. But it's not affecting their earth school lives as far as karmic patterns go. We don't even bother with that. But the earth has to get to a certain point before you're allowed to do this? Oh, things are quite bad. It's very bad, and that is why we are allowed to do this. If we did not do this, you would kill yourselves. And that's the reason we're involved, because there are people in their physical embodiments breathing in this poison that is being created with all the pollution, and it's changing their genetic heritage, which also increases stress, which can affect them karmically. We cannot let that happen, and we will not let that happen. We gave people of this planet their genetic heritage. And now they have messed up their drinking water, their food, their air. Everything here is polluted. Humanity has destroyed their genetic heritage, and we're going to repair it because they are not going to mess up our experiment. This is a divine experiment, and they can't mess it up. We are going to help. We have to do this. Parts of the whole planet was destroyed many times. You know about Atlantis. There have been many other explosions and then floods. This is something that we can't allow to happen again because it's going to affect the rest of the cosmos this time. And the earth is coming a little more out of alignment. And we will be putting the planet not only back in alignment, but we will also help cleanse and clear the genetic structure of everything and everyone on the planet. And this has been put forth to the councils and the federations, and it has been agreed upon, and it is being done, because humankind has reached the point that it will not be cleaned up soon enough before you destroy yourselves. So it only has to get a little more out of alignment before we affect the other planets? It's already affecting other planets, not only civilizations in the physical realm that you know of, but also on other dimensions. That's why we're doing this. Dolores writes, the various universes are so interwoven and interconnected that if the rotation or trajectory of one or vibration of another is disturbed, it affects all the others. In the extreme case, this could cause all the universes to collapse on themselves and disintegrate. This is one of the reasons for the monitoring of planet Earth by ETs, to detect any problems caused by our negative influences and alert the other galaxies and universes so countermeasures can be initiated. They have to know what the Earth is up to so the rest of the universes, the galaxies, and dimensions can protect themselves and survive. Dolores then asks, I thought if you were going to have a massive project like this on planet Earth, people would be able to see all these spaceships. Oh, you typical Earthling. No, you can't see our ships. We're in different dimensions. There are many different vibrational rates. Some of us can't even see the other ships. You won't even be able to see the light that's coming, but it's there. At some point, your scientists will be able to measure this type of energy if they know how and where to look. At some point, the scientists will be able to determine that we are in the atmosphere, and they'll see our ships eventually. They will have machines and devices so they can determine where our ships are. But they don't have access to that technology right now because we've moved across the veil and we are in, shall we call it, the astral realm. It's a higher level than that, but it's a very fine, high vibration. And human eyes can't see them, and no machines can detect them, but in the future they will have machines that can see all spaceships. But they will know something is happening to the energy of the Earth, that something is changing, right? It has been changing for quite some time, and the people are changing, but they're not going to be aware of what's happening because it's going slowly. However, on a soul level, they can tell. Subconscious levels they'll know, but not on a conscious level because you're thinking of physical 3D energy, and this is not physical 3D energy. This is multidimensional energy from God, from Source. This is soul energy, and it operates within a different dimension that you're thinking. It's very different. So the people will feel it, but they won't see it. They'll just know that something is happening in their bodies. Some will know. Those that are sensitive will know that something has happened, but they won't know what. And that's by design. We don't want to disrupt anything. How will this affect the human body? It will prevent the decay of the genetic material DNA within the body. Like I said, your DNA has become damaged by pollution, and we can't have that. We can't have a whole race of people damaged. The energy will change the DNA genetic structure of the humans so that it will be more perfect. That's what we really want. We want the humans on the planet to be in perfect harmony, not only with themselves, but with us and the rest of the cosmos, which is not happening now. So when the DNA structure is changed, how will the body be different? When the DNA is changed, the body will be what we wanted many millennia ago. We tried this in Atlantis and it failed. The reason it failed was because the energies were used in a negative way by the beings in Atlantis. We tried to bring forth a more feminine energy back in the days of Atlantis, which would raise up and cause a union between the divine masculine and the divine feminine, but it failed. Therefore the planet Earth went through many, many, many thousands of years with women being subjugated and the divine feminine energies being suppressed. Now, this is the time that both will be equal. The divine feminine and divine masculine energies will join, and this will make for the perfect being, like the Buddha, like the Christ. Everyone here will realize they are a perfect Buddha mind Christed soul when the divine feminine and divine masculine are in balance. The energies have not been in balance for thousands and thousands of years. That's why there are so many problems on the planet. All of your problems are due to toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. So, when the DNA structure is altered, the divine energies of divine feminine and divine masculine, which is the yin and the yang, the divine God energies, can unite, and there will be perfection upon the planet, perfection within the body. And this planet will be something that we can show the rest of the universe. This is our experiment. And this is what we have done, and it has succeeded. Light and love has succeeded because it is perfect, as we have wanted it to be for thousands of years, raising the vibration, consciousness evolution. When we first came here, it was perfect. You've probably been told that. It was called the Garden of Eden. Then it was altered. A meteorite came, bringing disease. Dark beings came and altered things. Everything was messed up. But we're going to have it perfect again. And this is part of the alignment that we'll be doing with love and light, to make everything perfect again. And this is perfectly normal. This is all part of genetics. But the reason that happened was that humans have not been in balance. The divine energies have not been balanced within the psyche, or even within the physical mind. But the psyche that comes into the body manifests physically. These have been out of alignment. This causes disease, dis-ease within the body. When the bacteria landed here on that meteorite, if the bodies were in perfect alignment at that time, none of the diseases would have manifested. But things were out of alignment already. The bodies had already began to change when the meteorite arrived, so it was a natural process. Then Dolores writes a few paragraphs. She was referring to the same thing that was mentioned in my book, Keepers of the Garden, which explained that disease was introduced to Earth and spoiled the grand experiment by a meteorite that struck the Earth when our fledgling species was still developing. This caused a great deal of sorrow in the council in charge of developing life on Earth, because they knew their experiment of creating the perfect human being could not happen under these circumstances. They had to make the decision whether to stop the experiment and start over again, or allow the developing humans to continue, knowing that it would never be the perfect species it was intended to be. It was decided that so much time and effort had been expended in developing humans that they should be allowed to continue. The hope was that maybe sometime in the future the species could develop into the perfect human being with no disease. This is the main reason for the sampling and testing done by the ETs that people have misinterpreted as being negative. They are concerned. The ETs are concerned with the effects of pollutants in the air and chemical contamination of our food on the human DNA. So they are attempting to alter its effects. Then the ET continued. We didn't want to not do the experiment. We couldn't just throw the planet away. We couldn't just let all of these life forms, all of these souls be forever altered. We had to step in, and we've been coming here for ages. This is the culmination of many, many millennia, many millions of years of work. And it's coming very soon, and we're very pleased because humankind has reached the point to where this can be brought forth again upon the planet. As I've said, we tried it many years ago, and it failed, but we expect it to succeed this time. It's already beginning to succeed, and we're very happy about that. Will all of the people of Earth experience this healing of their DNA? As I've said before, everyone will be affected. It's just that there are those who are more sensitive and who will pick up that it is being done. Some people will not realize on a conscious level that it's happening. It's being done on a soul level. If you were to put them in trance, as you have this person before you now, they would know they have been affected, and they could explain to you what it has been done to their genetics. But on a conscious level, they haven't a clue, by design. I was thinking of negative people like murderers and rapists and people like that. Will they be affected in a different way? Everyone will be affected. They will only know on a subconscious level what has happened. As the subconscious changes and becomes aware of this, the physical is activated. But they still have karma? Karma may possibly also be affected positively, because this planet in the future is not going to have karma. That is something that won't vibrationally occur. It will be a planet of love, light, and peace, and will be our grand experiment and beacon to the rest of the universe. I've been told this is why so many in the universe are watching now. Yes, that is right. We are here to do that, and it will succeed. Then Dolores writes, one final piece of information came through a client in my office in 2004. I believed one part of all of this was still unclear. How could some people be aware that they had made the shift into the new earth, and others would not be aware? How would it be possible to move an entire population with only a minority knowing anything had happened? They, the subconscious, must have been aware that I was struggling with this lingering thought, so they supplied an answer. After all, how could I write about it and lecture about it if I didn't have all the pieces? Bob said, most planets, but especially this one, was only designed originally for 550,000 people. 500,000 people. That was as large as it was supposed to go. More people are reincarnating here to experience all these major changes. And the earth has been damaged and changed beyond the capability of humanity to repair it. This planet has been unfortunately changed in such ways that there's no sense of return whatsoever to its original pristine condition from the 3D perspective. But now because of the prime directive from the Creator, this has to change. It has been too long. There are two ways to do this. You can cause the planet to rotate and the Earth crust to shift, and you literally, when that happens, must start all over again from ground zero. That is what touched off the Ice Age and killed all the dinosaurs. It doesn't matter how it happened, but basically it did the same thing. A whole civilization disappears, and you start off with the Ice Age and Neanderthal man, and all of that kind of good stuff happens all over again. You lose control of your entire civilization, and you end up as a legend like Atlantis and Lemuria. This has all happened many, many times before, but that is not what's going to happen this time. This time, you shift as a whole planet, and basically as a universe. You shift the whole dimension. The dimension changes. You go from 3D to 5D. And you say, well, what happens to 4? Well, 4 is here because it is the dimension of time. But you're just going to jump over it and end up as 5. When the dimensional change comes, you will literally jump up a level. There's a lot of complications with this. This is why it's being watched so carefully. Many people who are spiritually ready will be able to make the transition very easily. Others are literally going to be taken off the 5D Earth. In the flick of an eyelid, they won't even know what's happened, most of them, and they will end up on another planet that's pristine, ready and waiting for this to happen. And your capabilities will be far beyond what they are now. Now you have 5 senses. You'll have many more than that when the transition completes. Everyone will become automatically telepathic. They'll wake up in their little lives the next day, or depending on how it is shifted, with the new abilities. This has happened before, by the way. It may take 2 or 3 days to transfer the populace. The entire world, or just... Yes, all the people that are spiritually ready to make this transition, they'll all be shifted up. And when they wake up on this new world, they won't even realize it's happened. There was a shift like this many years ago on this planet with all of us, and not many people even knew about it. It just was. It was like a whole week passed by in the course of a night. It happens that way. Why did that happen at that time? We needed to shift the sun, technically, and we needed to be able to adjust it. And if anybody could see it, they would have known what had happened. That wasn't a very practical way of doing things, so we just sort of put everyone to sleep. So they wouldn't know it? Yes. You went to sleep one night and you slept like you thought it was a regular night, and you woke up and you watched the sun, and your watch and the clocks were still running the same, but in fact you had gone to sleep for a whole week. Everyone was put into suspended animation? Yes. We shut down the whole thing at the same time. While the whole world moved? Oh yes, the planet moves. You have the so-called night and day, but we actually adjusted it. It was a really interesting trick to do, but it does work. This planetary adjustment that's coming up, this frequency change that is coming up, you can't merely do this with everybody awake, because you're going to have all sorts of strange reactions in people. So they think they're all awake. But yet, we can put them all to sleep. It's a bit of a trick. It's very technically involved. So they would think they were having dreams if they did see anything? Yes, precisely. But they might not have conscious remembrance of it because, don't forget, most people don't have conscious remembrance of what they dream about anyway. So you can change things in dreams very easily too. You said this was done a few years ago? Yes, it was. We had to make an adjustment in the sun's frequency. And then she writes, we will ascend to the other dimension by raising our consciousness, by raising the vibration, by raising the frequency of our thoughts and our body. At first, you can continue in a physical body for quite some time. Then, as you gradually discover it is no longer necessary, the physical body dissolves into light. This may happen over hundreds of years, and you live with a body made of light or pure energy eventually. This sounds very similar to several cases in my books where the subject saw a being that glowed and was composed of pure energy. They have evolved beyond the need for physical, limiting bodies, and we will do this also when we reach that stage. This is normal. So in many cases, when a being ascends, they take the physical body with them. But this is only a temporary situation, and the shedding or dissolving or letting go of the physical body depends upon the level of understanding and consciousness that being has reached. We tend to hold on to the familiar, but eventually we see that even though we are able to take the body with us, the body is too limiting and confining for the new reality in the new dimension. When we reach this new dimension, the new body of light or energy will never die. That is what the Bible meant when it said to eternal life. The spirit side, or the in-between lives state, where I've found that we go after we die and before we're reborn, is like a recycling center. It leads back to another life on earth because there is still karma to be worked out or something that needs to be attended to. People keep returning into physical bodies because they have not completed their lessons or their cycles. By raising the consciousness, the frequency, the vibration, there is no need to return to the place of 3D Earth. This can be transcended by going to the new 5D Earth, where everyone knows they are eternal, and there is no reason for recycling. We can remain in that state forever or for as ever long as we wish. This is probably the place many of my subjects refer to as home, the place they deeply miss and desire to return to. When they see it during the regressions, they become very emotional because they have been deeply longing for it, yet not consciously knowing it existed. Chapter 37, Those Left Behind. Elsewhere in this book and in the Convoluted Universe series, I covered the stories of individuals who witnessed the destruction of their home planets. They were new to planet Earth, and some said they were only sent to Earth during these crucial times. The destruction had been a personal experience, and they would be extremely valuable during this time to make sure it didn't happen again here on Earth. This was another such individual who had seen an entire planet destroyed, laying on my couch now. Dolores asks, "Why did Jean decide to come back now? You said she'd been here at other pivotal points in Earth's history." This is the big one. This is the great one. This is happening now. And many are remembering who they really are, and they are being contacted. The new children are being brought in, and she loves these children. So she's helping them to balance the energies. It's being a bridge. She is bridging the energies now. You are a bridge. Of course you are. So there are those of you that came in to help bridge the information, to be ambassadors. To help these people wake up to who they really are? Absolutely. And to be okay. To accept any one of them who have experiences that they've hidden. It's a big time on your planet, because this is the big one. This is where you, as a planet, awaken out of the dream of thinking you're alone and small and dirty and sinners. Your Earth is evolving. You are all evolving. All eyes are on Earth right now. This is the big one. Many fought to reincarnate here now. Even the children that come in, they all wanted to be here. You'll all carry that, the badge of having been here at this time. Even for a short while? Absolutely. To have been alive on this planet at this time of this evolution, no planet has ever quite evolved this way before, this uniquely. If you are going to have the option to carry the identification of having been on a planet that will be known throughout the multiverse, even if you can only be here for a few hours, that means you could say, "I was on Earth at the time of the shift." This is what I call the new Earth. Yes. That there will be an old and a new and have a separation? Yes. And that some won't make the evolution? Yes. I'm still trying to understand that. It is a difficult concept for many humans to understand. I'm still trying to clarify it myself so I can explain it to other people. All right, we will give you this piece. For those that choose to stay in the wheel of karma, they have to live that out somewhere. So, do they stay with the old Earth? Do they get taken to some foreign planet? No. They stay where they were created and where they created. I see. And those are the ones who will not go on to the new Earth? Correct. Not at this time, but eventually all will evolve. So the old Earth will continue to exist? Yes, this one. Will the people in the old Earth be aware that anything has happened when the evolution occurs? All right, we will take you back to the time of Atlantis. In your history, Atlantis had several destructions, and people perceived that others died. You mean there was more than one destruction? Yes. There is an Atlantis that went on and exists in time and space. Therefore, from that perspective, that Atlantis exists now in another dimension. So there will be those of the old earth that will experience it because they buy into the fear of the death and destruction and devastation of earth, and they believe it, and they will be there in their mind. They may perceive that others are dead or gone or whatever, and likewise, you may perceive them as dead or gone or whatever, but in either way, there will be two experiences. So think of this as already occurring. The orchestration to create this experience is so much bigger than any human mind can comprehend. This is a massive orchestration, not just occurring on your earth, but with the help of so many. And no other planets have done it quite like this before. I've been told that the whole universe is watching. More than just the universe. There are even those from other universes that are watching. Because they said this had never happened before, where an entire planet moves up into another dimension. Correct. Never, ever. Also look at the fact that, as a consciousness, you each see yourselves as separate individuals. Consciousness on this planet was created in a unique way to be able to experience itself as separate, temporarily. Most other planets do not operate on that frequency. Regardless of where they are, they don't experience themselves as separate from Source. Your planet has. So the ones who are part of the councils and work on the ships know their Source and know they are one with Source? Of course. And they love you humans unconditionally. You don't even know what you've done. They recognize there are primitive behaviors on the planet, but to reach the level that you have, based on the restrictions that you've had to work within, is just amazing. Your capacity to love is so deep. However, your capacity to fear is so deep. That's the power of control that gets everybody in trouble, fostered by fear. I know Earth was created with a free will zone, but it was also created with the idea of not knowing it was part of Source? Yes. It was an interesting construct of consciousness, in that it experienced itself as separate. Where else could there be more growth than in a situation where you actually saw yourself as separate from Source? But you said the other races know that they are all part of the Source? Yes, they do. So there can be more soul growth on Earth? Yes. If we thought we are alone and then had to discover this all by ourselves, that's the lesson? Yes. Humans have to discover the truth of who they are on their own. Yes. With nothing to help them. I can see what you mean. You have 3D density here. You do have the beauty. You have your 5 senses. You have much going on here, but you also have a screen or a block in understanding. Look where you are. I've had many people have sessions where they go back to the Source. They see how beautiful it is and they don't want to leave it again. When you connect with the Source, it is the most beautiful experience a soul can have. So your question is what? Are the sessions happening for them to connect with that source? Yes. Why is it happening? So they will know what it's like, or to remind them, or for those that need to have that experience, yes. For some, it would be too great, and they wouldn't be able to go on or come back into their life. They would just as soon leave and commit suicide. It's different for each person. Each person is different in terms of what they can and cannot experience and integrate. And each person is different in what it would trigger within their consciousness, because each of you is unique and an individual fingerprint on the planet. There are no two souls alike. Think what a genius of mastery that is. Think of the beauty and complexity and wonder of that. And there are many layers and many lifetimes and many souls in other dimensions working on the other sides, and they are all participating in this as well. You are never alone, anyone, ever. We have to discover where we came from and why we're here. But there was one question people have asked me, and I think you have answered part of it, that if some people are taken and some are left behind, wouldn't those that go on to the new world notice the other members of their family were gone? These are some of the things I'm trying to clarify in our way of thinking. I have to be able to explain it to people. We understand. We will give you this explanation and hope it helps. People are going to start fading out of people's lives. They're going to start noticing people falling away. First slowly, then more rapidly. In other words, people, family members, whoever they have been close to will just fade away, fall away, and disappear. It may happen slowly at first, but it also may happen suddenly, seemingly overnight, so that by the time the shift happens, some of those people will already have fallen out of their life. They will be separate. They'll just disappear. They won't be around and they won't be thought of. Do you understand? Yes, but could we go to the police and try and find a missing person or something? It won't happen that way. It will be people just moving away, or something happening, or some distance between people. By the time the shift actually occurs, the distance will already be in place. Haven't you had people fall out of your life lately? Yes, of course, but I always know I could contact them if I needed to. But you won't. That's our point. You won't contact them. It will just be a natural fading and falling away. The frequencies and vibrations will no longer match, and therefore they will fall out of your mind and you will fall out of theirs. The need or desire or thought to contact them will dissolve. And this means they are either staying with the old earth or they're going on to the new one. In some cases, there have been those who have left early and are working on the other side of the veil. You're aware of that. But some of those that disappear, after a period of time you think, I wonder whatever happened to that person. But you don't have the urge to contact them like you normally would. You don't have the driving urge saying, "Oh, I'm concerned about so-and-so. I must call somebody. I must reach out." It's just not the same. You find that your need or desire to contact with them dissolves. It falls away, and you forget. I've been told that at first those who enter the new world will have physical bodies, so we won't know when we have actually made the shift. Is that correct? This may be too simplistic of a description. For those of you that came in to bridge these worlds, will explain it this way. As you do your work, you facilitate. You help people to awaken, to open up to more of who they actually are. You help them to raise their vibration, their frequency, to be able to resonate at higher cycles per second, so they can open to more love and more light, and make the shift. Does that make sense to you? Yes, that's what I'm trying to do to help people. Exactly what you're helping people to do, yes. It will happen, it is happening. It is not going to happen in the way that people think, where there'll be a big cataclysm or this or that or the other thing. No. It will just be like you wake up one morning and you're thinking everything's normal and you're just going on, but you will be in the new 5D Earth. You will notice a difference in resonance, but you already will be there because your resonance is increasing every day. And so, slowly, and then all of a sudden, one day, you will reach the requisite cycles per second to take you from here to there permanently. Let's explain it in this way. If somebody came back right now from the 1800s to see you, you would be glowing to them. You've already reached high enough cycles per second that you would glow to a human from 250 years ago. So in essence, your cycles per second are raising. And then Doris writes, could this be one of the reasons why, when John and the others went to visit Nostradamus, in my book Conversations with Nostradamus, he saw them as glowing energy spirits of the future? Was this because they were actually vibrating at a frequency faster that made them glow? Something to think about. And then her client said, that's the reason you are a bridge to help others to raise their cycles per second so that they can make the shift. And the faster you raise more people, they activate other people with their frequencies and vibrations. So what you are doing is activating more and more people on the planet, which activates others, which raises the frequency of the planet perfectly naturally. Do you understand? It's all cyclic. Everything affects everything else. You have people that come to Earth and don't have to do anything. They are just strictly vibrational activators. Their energy fields activate everybody else's. You have those that are working very hard and diligently, and they are like the broadcasters. They broadcast all over the planet, like you, Dolores. That makes sense to me. This is why I've been told age won't make a difference. That's also correct. We'll be functioning at a different level, different vibrations. Yes. This is the way some of the other ETs function, don't they? Yes. They all age at a totally different rate from 3D Earth humans. The goal for humans is a much longer life expectancy and also creating the bridge of inner standing. And if you begin with your physical body health, you are able to reach people in a non-invasive, non-threatening way. In this new world, where age won't matter, will the body eventually die the way we consider it on Earth now, in our reality? There will be some of you that will have the option to not die at all, just to make your transition, just to cross over. But not everybody's going to be at exactly the same frequency at the same time, ever. Remember that. Right, I was thinking maybe the body would get to the point where it could just maintain itself until the soul was ready to leave. That's exactly right, for some, not for everyone though. If you have many people making this transition, and let's say that the frequency range has to be approximately 44,000 cycles per second in order to make this shift, not everyone is going to be at exactly that frequency at the same time. You're going to have different variables in the frequency shift. There will still be those of you that are on the front lines, on the cutting edge, and even some who have crossed over already. Do you understand? Because even in the new 5D Earth, everyone will be on slightly different levels. You will never all be exactly the same vibration. Every race always has those that are out there on the cutting edge, a little further out, going a little farther, because that's the evolution of consciousness. I was thinking that was the way it would be. We'd have a lot more time to do our work and to help reach people. Of course. We wouldn't have to worry about the limitations of the body. Oh, the limitations of the body. Right. Well, look at your whole self now. You are already changing. You are going through cellular changes. They are making adjustments on you. I've been told they were doing it to me. Yes, they are. And because you are a spokesperson, again, a bridge, who is more important to look good than you? I guess. Well, if I hear it from enough people, maybe I'm going to believe it too. You need to believe it. I've also been told that not everyone will make the shift into the new world. That is correct. When the earth is going to make a shift, there's the idea that many souls are allowed in for experience because, as you say, you experience many things in your growth as a soul. And so, there have been many, let's say, beginners coming into birth, into a body on this planet. Sometimes being in a class with advanced students can be very helpful. As you know, like in an old county schoolhouse? Yes. So it used to be that there were many levels of students all in the same room, and they would all benefit from that. But there finally comes a time when the students need to move on, and that means that those who are left behind will have to find their own way. They will be put in other schools, other places. I always thought it sounded cruel to leave them behind. Oh no, no one is left behind. They will be taken care of, taken to places where they can grow. That's the way I've understood it too. It would be a type of separation. It's more natural. It's like when you leave your body, you go to another dimension and you grow in that dimension, and you may or may not come in as another body here. You may go somewhere else. And if the whole universe is a body, as it is, there are many, many galaxies and planets where any soul can go. Then Dolores writes, more information about how our bodies and the entire world will go through the dimensional shift process, and it will be undetected by those around who do not make the shift or change. One of my clients said, our bodies and everything around us are now increasing their vibratory rate and adjusting to a new frequency. Every cell of the body begins to vibrate at such a fast rate that it turns into light. When this begins, the temperature of the body increases and the body starts to glow with light. When every cell is vibrating at a very high rate, you will disappear from normal vision and move into a higher dimensional reality. This is because the body has moved in vibration beyond the third dimension and is now vibrating on a much higher dimensional level. This then means that you will not go through the death process, as you will then have a light body. Aging will not exist for you, and you will have stepped into the next dimensional reality. You can then access the next stages of spiritual lessons in the evolution of consciousness. Dolores writes, the SC have emphasized that this has happened down throughout time to certain individuals and small groups of people, one of them being certain groups of the Maya. But what makes it unique now is that it will be the first time that an entire planet will make the shift into another dimension. This will be the new 5D Earth and the new world. It was described in the Bible as the new heaven and the new earth. The others who are not ready will be left behind, as it also says in the Bible, to continue to live out their karma. They will not even be aware that anything has happened. Those who have not become enlightened will have to return to another denser planet that is still involved with negativity to work out their remaining karma. They will not be allowed to come to the new earth because their vibration will not match. The earth is a living being. She has been evolving just as we are, although at a much slower rate, for 4.2 billion years. She is now preparing to move into her next incarnation, which will happen when she raises her vibrations and frequencies to take her into another higher dimension. She has tolerated humans living on her since our beginning, and it doesn't matter to her whether we go with her or not. She is moving, evolving, regardless, and if we choose to go, it is our decision. We have created such a nuisance that she would rather we didn't go with her. We are like fleas on a dog, and it is obvious that we have caused great damage and distress to this beautiful planet. So if we want to go with her on this next adventure, then we have to make changes in ourselves. Our frequency and vibration must be raised or we will be left behind. Several years ago, I was on a panel at a conference with Annie Kirkwood, the author of Mary's Message to the World. She told about a vision she had that seems to portray the evolution of the new Earth. She saw the Earth as it is viewed from outer space. Then it started looking like two Earths, one superimposed on the other. There were little lines of flashing lights going between both Earths. As she watched, she saw it begin to pull apart, the way a cell does when it is dividing to produce another cell. One earth went off in one direction, while the other one went in the other direction. On the one earth, she and others were exclaiming, "Yes, yes, it really happened. We did it. We really are the new earth." And on the other earth, she heard her sister's voice. "That girl was so crazy. She was out there telling everybody all these crazy things. And nothing happened. She just died." So it appears that when the final event occurs, there will be some people that will not even be aware that anything has happened. This will be the separation of those who go on with the new earth and those who are left behind on the old earth. Later, during a different lecture, I explained this vision, and afterward a man came up to me. He said, "I want you to know that I'm a businessman. I usually don't have experiences that I can't explain logically. But whenever you were describing the two earths separating, this auditorium suddenly disappeared, and I found myself in outer space. As I watched, I saw it happen exactly the way you described." He said the scene was still very vivid in his mind. He went home and created a picture on his computer and gave us permission to use it in this book. At a lecture in Chicago in 2006, I was discussing the evolution of the new Earth. I was describing the vision that Annie Kirkwood had about the Earth splitting into two Earths. How, as the one divided into two separate Earths, the people on each would not be aware of what was happening to the other. Those who had raised their frequency and vibration would ascend into the new 5D Earth as it evolved and lifted into a different dimension, thus becoming invisible to the ones so-called left behind. There have been several things about this concept that bothered me. I always like to have the answers, I guess because of my great curiosity. I have felt there are gaps or holes that need to be filled, pieces that need to be explained. Someone in the audience asked the question about how this would happen, where those on one earth would not be aware of what was happening on the other one. Suddenly, I had a revelation. A thought came to me that might be the glimmering of an understandable explanation. It is always wise to trust these flashes of intuition and knowledge because often they are coming from our higher selves or guides. In this case, it might have been coming from the same source that gives me all the information through my clients. I suddenly said, "A possible explanation just came to me." Earlier in that lecture, I had talked briefly about the theory of parallel universes and lives that are created by our thoughts and decisions. In Book 1, I wrote about a theory I had never heard of, and that gave me a headache trying to understand. In brief, it says that any time an individual has to make a decision, they usually have more than one choice. This is what I call coming to a crossroad. They have to decide to go one way or the other. It could be a decision about a marriage, a divorce, a job, anything. They ponder each choice and put a great deal of energy into deciding which path to take. Then they make a decision. We've all experienced these crossroads. We know that, had we chosen to go the other path, our lives would be totally different. We decide to go one direction. But what happens to the energy that we have sent out into the other decision that was not chosen? Well, this also becomes a reality. Another universe or dimension is instantly created to act out the other decision, and another you is also created to be the player in that scenario. This was the simple explanation because it does not only happen when we are faced by major decisions. It can happen each and every time we are faced with a legitimate choice, no matter how big or small. Each time we make a decision, another universe or dimension is instantly created, so the other choice can also become a reality, and another you splits off to play that part. They are all just as real as the present life we are focused on and think we are experiencing. We are not aware of those other parts of us, and it is wise that we are not. Our human minds would never be able to handle it all. I was told that the problem is not with the brain, it is with the mind. There are simply no concepts within our mind to allow us to comprehend all the complexities of that scenario. That is why we'll never be allowed to have all the answers. There's no way we could possibly understand. So they, in their wisdom, choose what small pieces to give us during these times of awakenings, and so we will have some expanded information. And as our minds expand to encompass new ideas and theories, they will give us some more in small morsels. I personally am grateful for the bits and pieces I am being given along the way. It shows that our minds are awakening and we are ready for more multidimensional information. This is the only way we're going to be able to handle the concept of the new 5D Earth, changing frequency and vibration in order to shift into a different dimension. The information I am receiving now I could never have even begun to understand when I started my work over 30 years ago. So I know I personally have grown, and I can see this reflected in the books I've written over the years and the types of clients who come to me. So, the revelation that came to me during the lecture in Chicago was that perhaps the reason the people on each earth will not be aware of each other and what is happening might be that it will be similar to the concept of the creation of parallel universes, only on a much grander scale. If we are not aware of these other parts of ourselves acting out the other decisions we have created by the energy we have focused on the other choices, then the people on the two earths would be unaware of each other, naturally. One earth would be going in the direction of one decision or choice, and the other earth would be going in another direction. Each would be acting out an alternate decision. It is up to the people of the earth at the present time to each make their personal decision of which path they want to follow. The energy is present and becoming stronger. Vibration is raising. It is physically affecting our bodies. Our own frequency and vibration is being altered. But I believe it is still up to us what we decide, which earth we gravitate toward, because of our free will. The main difference here is that they, the SC, the higher self, the guides, have said that this has never happened on such a grand scale before. Never in the history of the universe has an entire planet changed its frequency and vibration to shift into another dimension. That is why it is said to be the greatest show in the universe, and everyone from many different galaxies and dimensions are watching to see what is going to happen. Are we going to be able to do it? Are we going to be able to pull it off? Of course we are. The train has left the station. It is taking us on a great adventure that has never been experienced on this scale before. It is up to each individual whether they get on board or remain standing on the platform. The volunteers who have fulfilled their purpose are ready to go home. All aboard! And remember, you are never alone.